moment then. An issue will occur when you launch in. I'm able to check it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Alright.
Yeah. You could work the side of the wall.
Yes, certainly.
I'll check it in. Thank you.
What's allowed?
No. Just, yeah, that's fine. Thank you very much. Just the,
Okay, I'll check it.
right, this one.
I've got my permits already.
Yeah.
I got your paper 30 years ago. I used to go on holidays.
Oh yes, I'll see.
We've heard of you, Chris. I'm Jerry.
Jerry, hello, I met you, Jerry.
Yes,
I think
yes,
on the bus one day.
You did. We probably socialised in town.
Yes, I have. Yeah. Please come in.
Oh, right, sorry.
From the girls. So Rachel will be. I really want you to see her. Rachel will probably be there, I expect.
Rachel.
Yeah. All right if I sit here?
Of course it is.
Okay. Sit next to you. Sit.
John, I just take a picture of the flowers for the PDS, is that all right?
I'll take them.
Thank you for coming.
When you want to keep it over here.
These I think will be the ones from the girls. I'll take a picture.
I haven't got my glasses on, Jackie.
Phone, they've got it.
Can you have, I haven't got my glasses on, can you tell me which one's the water tank surgery?
Be that one, I think. Do you want to know which one?
Yeah, just...
Yes.
Lovely, thank you.
And I think the others will be there from our girls. Maybe I'll do a photo at the end. I don't know how to do it now, yes. We'll do it at the end.
It's only just given us access, isn't it? But it looks like it's still trying to give it over to Nikki. Western one, where it's recording is 2 cabinets. So it doesn't go like now.
Thanks, yeah.
At the end, we'll upload it.
No problem.
With everything out.
Okay, no worries, thank you.
It must have been
Welcome everyone. My name is Liz Taylor, and it is with sadness but also my privilege to be conducting this service for Kay today. Before we do begin, if you haven't already, I know you had to get your phones up and happening to QR code in. Could you make sure they're now silent, please? Thank you. And thank you for being here today as we pay our respects, say our farewells, and celebrate having Kay in our lives. Dearly loved partner of 29 years to John, treasured family member, friend and neighbour, who I know will be missed dearly. And perhaps this short poem says so much of what we feel today, that love doesn't end with dying, nor leave in the last breath. For someone we've loved deeply, love doesn't end with death. And it's so true, we will always have our love for Kay, and our fond memories are ours to keep forever locked safely in our hearts and minds, just as Kay's love for you, her family and friends. It doesn't stop here. You were and are loved dearly. John tells me Kay put up a tremendous fight, brave and always with a spark of her quick wit and concern for others, which continued to her last breath with John by her side. At 74 years, she was too young and should have been with us for a lot longer. But unfortunately, this wasn't meant to be. But while we feel sad and sorry for her passing, we must also remember that Kay had lots of happy and healthy years, and that she probably wouldn't want us to be sad for too long. She wasn't that kind of person. So as we pay tribute to her today, let's speak about and remember her whole life, not just the more recent and challenging times. Let us celebrate that we had her in our lives for all or part of her 74 years. And again, I'm certain she wouldn't want you to be sad for too long. So let's begin by sharing some of those memories from those who knew and loved her best. I have lots of eulogies and tributes here, which is wonderful. It's testament to the woman that Kay is. And I say is because she still is to you today. So I think some of you are here today, and I'm not quite sure who wants me to read for them and who doesn't. So we'll go one by one. John, I know that you'd like me to read for you.
Yes.
So John's asked me to read what he has written, and he writes, "My dearest Kay, please let me tell you that I feel the most horrendous sadness, horrible emptiness and pain. I loved you, K-Mac. I loved you deeply with all of my being, and you returned that love unconditionally. I am ever so grateful that you allowed me into your soul. I was so proud of you, Kay, so proud to be your friend, so proud to be your closest mate. Not many knew of the pain of your childhood. No brothers, no sisters, no uncles, no aunts, no cousins. Estranged from your mum and a dad lost very early in life. You had no one to turn to. That made you a strong, determined and independent person who took the pain of a failed marriage in your stride. You let me recognise this and stand beside you for over 29 wonderful years. And how those years have flown. It seems it was only yesterday that we had met. I can recall all of those wonderful times over those years. In those treasured last moments lying beside you, I was able to talk to you and reminisce and feel the squeeze of your hand as you could still recall those times. And what moments they were. Your love of travel, and more importantly, your love of travel on the edge, chased by elephants in Botswana, thrown out of our canoe by an infuriated hippo in the middle of the Zambezi, getting tipped upside down in our canoe in a Class 6 rapid in the Colorado River, deep in the Grand Canyon, chased by the bull on your country farm and just making over the fence, and breaking your arm when standing still in a Canadian cross-country ski class. Not many could do that. John goes on to say, you were truly special. Your retail therapy was different. Not dresses, shoes or girl stuff. It would come after careful inspection of properties for sale or an order of a box of wine from Vino Mofo, 6 of which now adorn our living room. You would leave to drive to work, not in a flash car, but in your little farm truck that you'd had for 29 years. You never let the grass grow under your feet. You went to part-time uni and got a Bachelor of Health Science, went to Goulburn Tech and got a wool classes stencil, a rarity for a girl, constantly knitting, some of which were clearly a very difficult challenge, even for a, is it pronounced cafe facet? I think that's how it says, cafe facet.
Cave facet.
Cave facet, thank you, John. You truly leave dozens of close friends and work colleagues, all of whom loved and respected you for your determination, your strength, your dedication. Kay, you were the wind beneath my wings, my closest friend. I do not believe this could have happened, but it did. I will love you forever. These words will hurt, but they are regretfully true. Goodbye, my dearest Kay Mac. John, it's my honour to read your words. Now I have a message from Vicky. Is Vicky here? So I will read this on Vicky's behalf, one of Kay's closest friends. And she's titled it Kay Mcdougall, the Cow Farmer. I've just realised we're recording, and also you may have heard Chris in the background who's troubleshooting the live streaming service, so please forgive us that you can hear these in the background, but we're doing our best to make this happen. So Vicky writes, and I'll repeat, Kay Mcdougall, the Cow Farmer. Vicky says, I have had the privilege of being one of Kay's new friends. We've only been friends for 25 years. Kay introduced us to country life, and we shared many a weekend, Easter or Christmas together on the beautiful Limerick farm, meeting her Traralga family. Many a wonderful meal and glass of bubbles was enjoyed under the claret ash or inside in front of the fire. Easter often incorporated projects. Bring your sewing machine, Kay would say. The projects varied from making curtains for the newly finished renovations at the farm to surgeon's hats or threading beads for various orders Kay had taken from her friends. Kay was a lover of fabric, wool and beads, and as the years moved on they seemed to multiply in their respective corner, cupboard or on each tabletop in the house. As I shared her love of fabric, this progressed on to quilting, incorporating another love we shared. We introduced Kay to our beloved Whistler, which she fell in love with, becoming one of the locals. It didn't matter that she didn't ski, that gave her more time to go shopping and explore the nooks and crannies of the local towns and meeting new friends in the local real estate office. Time in Whistler introduced her infamous purple socks and hiking boots, which were to follow us wherever we went, including on the beach at Waikiki. We sailed the high seas of Italy, Greece and Turkey, spending more time in her favourite markets and shops. Neither of us being great sailors resulted in our taking all our daily requirements up on deck each morning and staying there until the boat was moored and we dared venture downstairs. I'm not sure whether she did finish her ongoing tax return, which was mentioned frequently, but you got the feeling was never a real priority. Kay's natural warmth and friendship was very engaging, making you feel very much appreciated and loved as a friend. Her friendships merged so many parts of her life's journey, creating her family. We're heartbroken we've lost you so soon. So, my dear friend, I hope you have your passport packed in your well-travelled backpack, along with your purple socks and hiking boots, ready for your eternal journey. You will be deeply missed, but memories of the times we spent together will remain forever. Rest in peace, dear Kay. We love you. Vicky Hyland. Jan Sadler, another close friend. She writes, thinking of you, Kay, brought to mind this beautiful quote. Losing a best friend is a tragedy, but what would have been far worse was never to have known her. Having known you, Kay, my life and many others have been enriched. The first time we met was after you attended the Binder races, and my immediate impression of you was, wow, what a classy lady, and so warm and friendly. Little did I know then just how much I would benefit and enjoy that warmth and friendship over the next 43 years. You were such a large part of my family, from our young carefree days to our not so young days. You once told me that not having any family, your friends were so important to you, and what a friend you were. There was both sadness and joy, divorces and new relationships, meeting up to explore open gardens, numerous dinner parties, lunches, and a lot of red wine. Needless to say, there was also the odd hangover. There were unforgettable times and times best forgotten, but all of them treasured memories of which we shared. I remember the night John announced you were engaged. So many of your Trafalgar friends were present, and we were all so delighted that you'd found happiness again with this wonderful man who was so bright and chirpy and clearly adored you. I recall lazy afternoons at the farm, sitting under the shade of the grapevine, partaking in the most delicious lunches that both you and John had provided. Always felt that a touch of Italy had reached our little village. Your continued support for me when my own health was challenged helped me through some dark days, and for that I am ever grateful. Oh, how I marvelled at your fearless, adventurous nature when you set off to Africa on your own, and how I lived in fear you would come to serious harm wandering the streets of Harare alone. We shared a love for travel and new adventures, and although we never travelled together, we loved to exchange our experiences over a glass of wine or coffee and relive the good and the bad. How I admired your courage to take on extra education in Sydney in the midst of the surgeon strike, then do a postgrad in Wagga Wagga when most were settling down to the comforts of middle age. Distance was never a barrier. When you moved from our little hamlet of Trafalgar back to Sydney, our hour-long talks on the phone were as if we were sitting in one's lounge room together. Kay, I wish I was not writing this. I wish we had more time together, and I wish I could hear your voice on the other end of the phone. But knowing I have had you in my life was such a privilege. You will be forever with me. Meeting you 43 years ago was a blessing, one of the best things that has happened to me. Saying goodbye to you is one of the worst. Fly high, my classy friend. And now from John Tweddle. John Tweddle is also a close friend from Trafalgar days. Kay Mcdougall, a tribute. Under very sad circumstances, I'm honoured to present the following tribute to my friend Kay. My first encounter with Kay was in 1981 on the tennis court. Kay and her former husband had just moved to the Trafalgar district and had quickly been recruited into the tennis team of which I was a member. It was a good way to meet the locals. It quickly became apparent that this was not really Kay's scene. She could play tennis, but her attitude didn't really blend in with the competitive nature of her fellow team members. Her tennis career in Trafalgar was a short one, but the seeds for a blossoming sibling relationship had been sown. I have never met anyone else like Kay. Her life had been peppered occasionally with setbacks, and she could have taken a dim view of all the world, but this wasn't Kay. She wanted to see the world and experience its wonders, which she did. She found her way to many corners of the world on some of the most amazing tours. On one occasion, she even managed to talk her way onto a tour party which had age restrictions by telling the tour operators that her medical qualifications would be an asset should they have a medical emergency. You're nodding. In the late 1980s, Kay decided to undertake studies in wool classing at Goulburn Technical College. So a group of us enrolled. I think the teachers are still scratching their heads. Kay lined up for the classes, complete with knitting needles and wool, and over the 2 years of the course managed to knit several woolen garments for a mail order company. She took very few notes, but still managed to achieve one of the higher marks when she did the exams. I doubt that she ever went into a shearing shed after the course had finished. Kay was a valuable contributor whenever we met for dinner and team Trivial Pursuit. Whilst the men in our team would eagerly cover the topics of sports and science, Kay could comfortably handle the curly questions on arts and geography. I recall a question being asked on a certain painting by a certain artist. After some thought, Kay answered the question by saying that she had seen it hanging in a precise place in the Louvre. A low period in Kay's life occurred when her marriage broke down. Kay carried on resolutely like the fortress that she was. Not long afterwards, however, she was to experience sadness again. I visited her one evening and she showed me a shoebox that had been delivered to her. The shoebox contained the few remaining memories and trinkets that had belonged to her recently deceased father, a father who she had not seen since she was 3 years old, a father who was never encouraged to be part of her life. We spent an evening talking about what could have been, and that was the end of it. The next day, life went on. It had to go on. That was Kay. It was not long before the sun was to shine on Kay's life, and it came in the form of a man named John Sherwood. A man so devoted to Kay that for a while she was completely flummoxed. She had no need to be. John Sherwood was the real deal. And I'm so grateful for his devotion and love for a lady who truly deserved it. Kay may have left us now, but she left knowing what true love and devotion really is. And John says, thank you, John Sherwood. My thoughts and prayers are with you at this time. So we've heard some wonderful stories, memories and feelings, and we're going to hear more. But for now, I'd like to draw your attention for a few minutes. We're going to have a little break and reflect with some lovely photos with Kay, accompanied by a very specially chosen song. So let's sit back and take these few minutes to enjoy some memories in pictures. Thank you, Chris. Just setting up so it's recorded. She's a beautiful woman.
She was.
Beautiful. Christine, would you like to come and share
I'll do my
your
best.
tribute?
Have you got it written?
Yeah, I've got it here.
Thank you. Mine is fairly short because it's very hard.
You can take your mask off if you want to be more comfortable to speak.
Thanks. I'm privileged to have known Kay since we were young girls of 17, when we started out on our nursing careers. For those 4 years of training, we enjoyed many fun experiences, lots of laughs, parties and travels. We've remained firm friends over all these years. Kay was a very staunch friend, very always supportive, understanding, readily there with a great big smile and a helping hand. Kay loved to be part of many groups and joined in easily with our tennis group, wine and food group, nursing group, also enjoyed her travel friends and time with many of our families. Kay was very much a part of the Turner family, especially her goddaughter Alison. Kay made us all feel individually special. She was a good listener, never said a bad word of anybody. She was very much loved by all who knew her. I'll miss her deeply. Thank you.
Oh, well done, Christine. Thank you. I think in turn she's lucky to have all of you as friends and family, because friends become family, don't they? You're her family. John and Gail McGregor are friends in Whistler, Canada, and they sent a message as well, which I'll read on their behalf as well. And they write, like all of you here today, and those like ourselves who couldn't be here today, we all have a huge void in our hearts with our dear Kay's passing. Gail, myself and Whistler were so lucky to have met Kay by chance in our beloved Whistler many winters ago. She wandered into my real estate company's office, and lucky me, I was the floor person. My first question was, why are you not up skiing? To which she quickly straightened me out by telling me that her dear John loved to ski, but she was more interested in snowshoeing and perhaps investing in Whistler real estate. Wow, a realtor's dream, and thus the friendship began. Kay introduced us to John, of course, after he had smashed all the downhill speed records, unintentionally. And from that wonderful beginning, our friendship included Lee and Vicky Hyland, their amazing family, and so many other Aussies that I'm sure are here to honour our lovely lady. We came to your amazing country because of Kay. We stayed at the farm. Gail bottle-fed a calf. We received lots of love from Kay's dogs. We drank and ate like kings and queens, and the Aussie hospitality along with Kay's special touch was like a drug. Damn, you are a fine lot. We will miss our lovely Kay, and she will be terribly missed here in Canuck land. She has so many friends here, and they too feel the void. Love forever, dearest Kay, never to be forgotten. John and Gail McGregor. There's been some beautiful tributes, and it just says so much to me as someone who has the privilege of conducting this service for Kay. And it just says to me how much friendships and how much she was revered by so many and loved most of all by you. So now it's time to say the words of committal. And I will ask, if you're able, would you kindly stand as I say these words? With tenderness and respect, we commit Kay's body, which will be taken from us, and return to the elements from which it came. But her spirit and her memory live on in our hearts and minds. Having laughed and cried and joined in both ordinary and special occasions, Kay is and continues to be part of our lives forever. We're grateful for the life she has lived. We're glad we saw her face, felt her touch, and heard her laughter. We're comforted knowing she is at peace. We will forever cherish the memory of Kay, her resilience, her wisdom, her friendship, and most of all, her love. May the memory of Kay enable us to be brave in our remembering, honest in our sorrow, and open in love and compassion to each other. May we seek not so much an answer to our questions, but rather a new way of living. May we seek not so much an end to our sorrow, but rather the patience to mourn and grieve. And may we remember with joy the lives of those we have loved and continue to love. Please take your seats. We've gathered today to pay our respects and celebrate Kay's life, and of course lend support to each other. And may I encourage you to continue that support. Think about and cherish all those wonderful moments and memories that you shared as you go on from here. And hopefully there's a memory, a saying, an idiosyncrasy, something that was unique and very Kay that will remain with you. In a few moments, we are going to play a final couple of songs for Kay as we then will make our way outside. But if you would like to stay for a few minutes and spend some time with Kay, you're most welcome. Please take your time, and Chris and I will leave you here and wait for you outside and give you that time. Before we do go our separate ways, I'd like to leave with a quote. It's by the writer and philosopher Maya Angelou, and I'd like to say this in tribute to Kay herself. And it simply says, "People may forget what you said, people may forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. And may Kay rest in peace."
Why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Just like me, they long to be close to you. Why do stars fall down from the sky every time you walk by? Just like me, they long to be close to you.
We're going to just leave you here, and when you're ready, make your way outside.
The angels got together and decided to create a dream come true. So they sprinkled moon dust in your hair and golden starlight in your eyes of blue. That is why all the girls in town follow you all around. Just like me, they long to be close to you. On the day that you were born, the angels got together and decided to create a dream come true. So they sprinkled moon dust in your hair, a golden starlight in your eyes of blue. That is why all the girls in town follow you all around. Just like me, they long to be close to you. Just like me, they long to be close to you.
Close to you.
and to make your choice.
Just give me another minute.
Oh, take it.